everybody, what's up and welcome back. Well, today I want to talk about some new baits I just got in and just tested out for the first time, and I want to give you the good, bad, and the ugly, tell you my thoughts, what I think about them, whether I'm going to keep fishing them in the future, and tell you if they even caught fish. So stay tuned. Got something pretty cool coming up. It's going to be a review of the new Googan Baits Ned Rig Rattlin Ned. The Rattlin Ned. So stay tuned. Alright everybody, so we're going to dive right into this. So the new baits that I got are the new Rattlin Neds. Alright, I've got 3 different ones. Check them out. 3 different ones right there. I got the Black Flash, I got the Green Pumpkin Goby, which is a really awesome color that I love, and I got the California Crawl, which is another one. And these baits I'm just going to dive into. I'm going to tell you what I think about them. I'm going to show them, can't talk today. I'm going to show them to you, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts. I'm going to tell you the good, bad, and ugly. I actually did take these out and go fish them, so I will be able to tell you if they caught fish or not. So let's dive into it. We're going to start from the get-go, from what I think about them and the appearance of them, all the way up to going out and catching some fish and coming back and talking about the durability and how well they did. Okay, so let's first talk about the baits when they first came in. So super cool looking. If you guys haven't seen a Ned rig, it's that little turd looking thing. I mean, it's just a little stick bait. A lot of people call it the turd. I mean, because it's just a little bitty stick bait, 3-4 inch stick bait, and just it's really nothing, but it just works phenomenally for catching fish. Now the Googan squad and the Googan bait guys, they took this to a little different level, and they actually put a rattle inside theirs, which is really cool, and I actually really like that a lot. So that's what drew me to it, because I fish a lot of Z-Man stuff. If you look on my wall right here, you can see Z-Man, 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 Z-Man. I love Z-Man stuff. You can also see Googan Bait stuff, because I do fish some of the Googan Bait stuff. I mean, I love the Cracker Crawl, I love the Bandito Bug, and I also like the Dragon Drop. Is it the Dragon Drop? So it is, yeah, the Dragon Drop right there. Those 3 have caught me tons of fish, and really like those baits, and so I picked up a few other stuff that I've been trying out this summer, and just figured I wanted to test these out because I really like to fish Ned rig style stuff. I love fishing Ned rig. I keep a Ned rig tied on to my finesse stuff all the time, and I'm always using it. I mean, I use it throughout the year, and it's just great. So first, let's talk colors. All right, the colors I got, the Black Flash. I'm going to show you one of those. I'm going to take one of those out of the package and show them to you. And first impressions, if you guys haven't seen the Googan Baits, their packaging is really awesome. They come in a hard clamshell, which is really nice, and you can't go wrong with that. They do a really good job with the packaging, and I like that part of their baits. And then they come in this package like this right here. There's 8 of them in a package. If you guys can see, there's one missing right there. That's because I already took it out and fished it. And it's on my rod. So yeah, so they come in a really nice clamshell package that keeps everything nice. They got a really nice scent to them too. Whatever that scent is they're using, I like it. I think it smells really good. I know it's got some garlic or something in it. We're going to pop one open, and we're going to show you. It's got some nice flake in it. Really nice flake in it. And just a really nice soft stick bait. I mean, it feels really good. I mean, it's soft, it's pliable, it's got great action to it, and you can really, I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but it's got a rattle built into it. There's actually, you can feel it right there. There's a little rattle right there in the end of that tip. And so when you're shaking that bait, wiggling it, it's doing that rattle. So you can hear that. So that's really cool. I think that's a unique thing that they did. I really thought that was a good idea, and I thought that was going to be something that would catch fish. So I went ahead and ordered 3 packs of them just to test them out, see if I was going to like them or not. And if I like them, you know, I'm going to fish them, you know, because they catch fish. And if they're catching fish, I'm going to use it. So that was the, that's the Black Flash. So that's black with like red flake in it, which is a really cool cool color. So, you know, my first impressions of the bait is it looks good. It looks very fishable. It looks like it's going to catch fish. I like the rattle. I mean, even on the rod, you can hear that rattle going, which is really cool. And I think that's going to attract fish. So, I'm going to show you. This is the green pumpkin goby. I actually like this green pumpkin goby. I use that on, it's the trick shot baits, which they're up here somewhere. I've got them somewhere on here. But it's the trick shot bait I get in goby, and I use that, and I've caught a ton of bass in that color. So I really like that color a lot. And it's a color that you can use in dirty stained water, or you can use in clear water, and it'll catch fish. I've used it in both, and it catches me fish. So really good color. I'm going to show this to you. This is the green pumpkin goby color. Hopefully you guys can see this pretty well. If I can pop this clamshell open and pull one of these out. So this is the green pumpkin goby. Nice flake in it, just really good looking bait. And you know, these baits, they smell good, they look good. I think they're going to do real well as a Ned rig. Pretty excited about that. And yeah, we're definitely going to do some fishing, and I'm going to do some fishing videos and show you guys how well they work, and you'll get to see it. I've actually already gone out and fished with them, like I said, so I'm going to show you some video footage of that. I just did a quick little trip down to my local pond, and then the last color I got is the California crawl. And if you guys don't know what California crawl is, it's a darker color as well. It's something that you can fish in clean water or dirty water, and smallmouth and largemouth love it, and they crush it. And so I don't try to get too crazy with my colors with my Ned rigs. I try to, you know, I usually have, you know, these colors and a green pumpkin and blue black, you know, so I don't try to get too crazy. And a lot of times I don't even fish the blue blacks. I fish these in the dirtier colors, and they do fine. But that's the California crawl. It's a little bit darker on top, a little bit lighter on the bottom. Good looking bait, catches lots of fish, great color. I can't wait to throw those in the river here in a couple days. I'm going to go back to the river and fish. Just got through fishing the James River, and I was throwing a huggermite, and that's what caught me a bunch of fish. And yeah, couldn't complain with that. So those are the three colors I got. Now, first impressions. I like the bait. I think it looks good. I think it feels good. Only concerns that I had is, you know, kind of like everything else. You know, if you guys have fished any of the Googan baits, you know that the softer the plastic, the less durable they are. And, you know, with a lot of the bandito bugs and the Kraken crawls, I get extra uses out of them, because once I tear it up fishing it, you know, like on Texas rig or something, I can usually cut it down, and I can put it on a jig, a swim jig, or I can put it on a chatterbait and use it as a trailer, and I get two uses out of it. And most of the time with the Kraken crawls and the bandito bugs, I usually, you know, catch, you know, 6 or 8 fish. I can usually get through before it's too torn up, or sometimes 10, you know, but the average has been about 8 fish before it's kind of really tore up, and then I use it as a trailer. It's kind of how it's been. Same thing with the drag and drop. The drag and drop, I've usually gotten through, you know, 6 or 8 fish before it's torn up. I haven't gotten anything on a mondo worm yet, or the trench hog, which is the other ones I got, and I haven't fished the slim shake. I have the slim shakes, but I just haven't used them yet. So can't really say what I feel about those yet. But as far as the bandito bug, the Kraken crawl, the dragon drop, I've caught tons of fish on all of them. They're great baits. They work real well. I'm going to keep fishing those because I really like those baits a lot. Now we're going to get to the part where, so I went ahead and took one of the baits down to my little pond behind my house, and I wanted to test it out. Now, a few things about the pond. Number one, it's got lots and lots of grass in it, and really high grass. I mean, we're talking about, like, here's the water line and here's the grass line in some of the places. In some places, the grass line is actually touching the top of the surface. So it's really tough to find places to actually throw the Ned rig in and drag it across. But I can let it go down and kind of drag it across that grass, you know, just keep it just above it. And so I figured if I could go down there and if I could catch just a couple fish, if I could get 2 bass off of that really grassy pond throwing that Ned rig, then it's definitely going to be a bait that's probably going to be worth using. And, you know, something that is going to be worth having around. And, you know, I use that pond for testing lures a lot. It's one of those places where that I know if I can get fish to bite in that pond on it, then I'm going to catch them on any of the other bodies of water. And it's been holding pretty true that anything I throw in the pond, I can usually take that and go catch fish anywhere else. So it's been a great testing ground. It's nice to have a pond right behind my house that I can go fish, that I'm allowed to fish. It's a private pond, but the people that own it let me go down there and fish anytime I want. So it's really nice to have that. So without further ado, I'm going to show you a couple clips of me actually taking one of these Rattlin Neds. I gotta keep remembering what it's called. Taking one of the Rattlin Neds, and I went down to my little pond and I did a little fishing. So here's the video, and we will be back to discuss things after we're done. So hope you guys enjoy this.
Alright guys, water is crystal clear. I've got the Rattlin Ned tied on, and this is the black one, and it's got some flake in it and stuff. I love fishing a Ned rig, and we're gonna see what happens. First thing I want to do is check it out, kind of see. I've got a 1/20th ounce head instead of a 1/15th ounce. Because I was fishing the pond, I wanted to kind of see if I could get a little bit better. And I grabbed some grass like right off the bat. Kind of see if I could get a little bit better fall, where it doesn't fall as fast, where it'll sit on top a little better. Get a pretty good cast out of it though. And we got a fish. Get off me, fly. Well, there you go. First bass on Rattlin Ned right there. All right. Rattlin Ned, one. Bam, nothing big, but definitely got us a bass. All right, guys, we got our picture. We're gonna check him back. See you, bud. All right, well, that's one down. All right, guys, now I want to take a look at this bait. So I caught that fish. Look at how bad it tore on that one fish right there. I mean, ripped it really good, pulled it off. It did work, but it tore that bait pretty darn bad. So we're gonna have to re-rig it, go through the other side, and hopefully get at least one more fish out of it. This was one of my concerns with this bait, because the Googan Bait stuff is made with a lot softer plastic than most other baits. So we'll see if we can get one more on it. Hopefully get at least two fish out of it. But if it's gonna tear like that, let me think of mine. If it's gonna tear like that fast, I mean, if you look, that's a pretty big gash in it. You're only gonna get a couple fish probably off this bait, and you're gonna go through a bag of these pretty quick. But first thing we gotta say is it did work. We did get a fish. That was one. So we'll count that one for the luck. They always say the first one's luck, the second one's the start of a pattern, and the third one's a pattern. Well, guys, I missed one because my drag wasn't set right. So hopefully we can reproduce that and get another one on here with this Ned head. Oh, there's one. Well, it's not a bass. It's a big old bluegill. Look at that dude. So the Ned head catches more than just bass. He's pretty though. We should take a picture of him with that in his mouth, since I'm doing this video. Well, so there's another fish on the Z-Man. Not the Z-Man, excuse me, on the Googan Baits. Ned. Pretty good looking fish though. Pretty good size one. See you, bud. Alright guys. I moved over to this bank. So far I got 2 fish on the Rattlin Ned, which is good. Well, my phone is turning on right now. Tends to do that when it's in my pocket for some reason. I don't know why. So, if you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I'm letting it sink all the way down to the bottom. And once it gets down there, I'm just slowly, as it touches bottom, I'm just slowly twitching it across that bottom, hoping that I'm going to come past fish is whole somewhere where a bass is sitting in that grass, just waiting to ambush it. This pond is very tough to fish in the summer because the grass is so high, and those bass get deep down in there. But there are some big ones in here. I know because I've caught them. It's just a matter of getting them. Well, we got him. Oh, and he came off. All right. That sucks. I don't know how I lost that. I had a good hook. I thought I had a good hook on him. Well, that's 3 I've lost. All right, guys, we're still throwing this Rattlin Ned. I've lost 3 fish on it, so I definitely feel like it's going to get bit and catch fish, for sure. Seriously, tall grass in this pond. Oh, there's one. All right. Number 2. Nice. On the Rattlin Ned. Right there. There you guys go. Choked it. So we're going to get a picture of him with that in his mouth. And we're going to get him back. Alright guys, we're going to get him back in order. Little dink of a bass, but there you go. 2 on the Rattlin Ned. And I lost 3, so it definitely gets bit. Alright guys, after 3 fish, it's got some tears here, tears there, tears there. I think I'm going to hook it one more time. I might be able to get away with it where it's at right now one more time before I have to change it. So let's hold off. So it's 3 fish I've landed and 3 fish I've lost. So it's been hooked up 6 times with fish. So we'll see. Let's see how long we can make it last. Alright guys, I've gotten 3 fish on the Rattlin Ned. I've lost 3. Pretty sure one was a pretty darn good one. But we're gonna keep trying. A little bit more right here. See if I can find one more fish on it. Oh, there's one. And it's a dang freaking bluegill. That is crazy that those bluegills are hitting it too. I mean, just plumb nuts. Look at that, guys. Big old panfish crushing it. I don't know why they like it, but they do. So since I'm doing this as a review, I want to make sure I get pictures of this. Just because I try to be fair and unbiased when I review products, and be honest about my reviews. It's a really pretty fish. Should probably get a picture of him too, just because. Alright guys, we're gonna pitch him back. See you, bud. Thanks for the fight. Alright guys, so this bait has caught 4 fish. I've got to rehook it one more time. I think I have one more spot I can hook it in now. But just want to show you. Take it off of here for a minute. Can you guys, hopefully you guys can see, that's a big old gash in it. It's got another big old gash there, another gash right there. But the biggest one is right there. And because this rattle is in there, you can't hook it in the other end and fish it the opposite way. So once it's torn up, it's true. The rattle's cool. I do like the rattle. But sometimes I rig my Ned rigs up backwards to get more use out of them. And this one, you are not going to be able to do that with. So I got one more spot right in here. I can get that hooked up in. So there we go. One more spot. So ironically, as I'm getting my line untangled, ironically, we've caught 2 bass and 2 panfish, 2 bluegills off of this thing. Which is kind of funny. But the panfish in here are pretty darn big in this pond. So they'll hammer a lot of things. I've caught them on a lot of different things, so it doesn't shock me too much to see that they'll hit something that big. But it is funny that I'm catching them on a Ned rig. Well guys, I had to do a battery change out after I did that cast. What in the heck? I don't know if I got fish. This is weird. What am I dragging in? I do not know. I think I got a turtle. Yeah, I think I got a turtle, and a big one at that. Oh no, I got a bass with a lot of grass. You guys aren't gonna believe this. There's so much grass on there. Look at this. This is crazy. There's actually a fish in there. You guys see that mess? Look. There's actually a bass right in there. And all that grass, there's a bass. Well, that's crazy. Ugh. Look at how green that grass is, guys. What's in that pond? There's a lot of it. But look at that. That's funny. That's funny. There you guys go. Googan Baits Rattlin Ned. Just got me another one. Nothing big, but it does show you that this bait does work. And that was the goal today. And there he's off. That was the goal. Alright guys, that was my third bass. All kinds of grass. But you can see how that tore right there already. So hopefully I can get one more on it. And that's 5 fish on it for the day. 3 lost. So let's see if we can get one more.
All right, we are back. So wow, what an interesting evening that was. So the Rattlin Ned does work. It did catch fish, and ironically, it caught bluegills too. That's kind of crazy. Multi-species on it. There's some really big bluegills down that pond. So that was kind of funny to catch them, but it's nice to know you can catch them, so that's kind of cool. So let's just go back and just recap what happened. So went down there, got the Ned rig tied on, the Rattlin Ned tied on, cast it out, and like the 4th cast, 5th cast, something like that, caught my first bass. Bam, dude, there's one right there. So that was a good sign right off the bat that I caught one. Then, you know, I worked my way around. As a matter of fact, that's actually what I caught every fish on tonight, so that's kind of funny. But I ended up working my way around the pond and stuff, and I missed a few bites, and then I lost a few fish. I ended up losing 3 fish that I had hooked pretty good, and then they spit the hook. One of them felt pretty big. That was the one over in the corner by the cattails. But had several other bites on it. Ended up catching 5 fish, caught 3 bass and 2 big fat bluegills, which was really funny. And that one bass, that was crazy. What happened there was that right after I cast it out, my battery died on my GoPro. So I set my rod down for a second, changed the battery out, picked the rod back up, picked it up, and then I felt there's something on there, but it was so heavy, I thought it was a snapping turtle. I was like, man, this feels like a snapping turtle. And then I was like, wait, am I stuck in the weeds? What's going on? Because there's a lot of grass in there. But I kept feeling something moving, so I was like, there's something on there. So as I'm reeling it in, I started thinking, man, there's a snapping turtle on here. You know, because I just caught one out of there like 2 weeks ago on a paddle tail swim bait that it ate. I let it drop down and the thing ate it. So it's kind of crazy. So I was thinking maybe I had a snapping turtle on there, and as I pulled it up, as I got the grass and it finally came up to the surface, I saw the tail of a bass sticking out. So that was really funny that I caught that one, and basically that was dead sticking it. It's like cast it out and just let it sit, and that fish came over and ate it. So that's kind of a cool thing that happened. So that was the last bass I caught, and that was kind of crazy. A lot of salad came along with him, but you know, did catch 3 bass, and like I said, I lost 3 decent fish. You know, well, I don't know if they were decent, probably 2 dinks, but one of them felt decent. But ended up catching 5. You know, had several hits. So as far as the bait working, it does catch fish. It does catch fish. Now, I didn't catch anything big, nothing huge, but I did catch 5 fish in a matter of, you know, hour and a half, 2 hours. You know, and, you know, had several bites and lost 3 more. So that's a really good sign for that bait. It shows that it does work. And that made me really happy, you know, because it's a bait that I'm like, wow, it'll definitely catch fish. I really like that color. I knew it was going to be a color because that pond is super, super clear. So I used that black one that has the red flake in it, and yeah, they definitely liked it and they wanted it, and that definitely got bit and caught fish. Now, with that being said, and like I said, I really like this bait. I like the idea of the rattles in there. With that being said, if you guys saw in the video, that bait got tore up really fast. Like after that first fish, he put a big rip in it, and you know, it just, as each thing happened, it just got demolished. And you know, I was fortunate enough to be able to get those 5 fish on it and lose 3 fish. So technically, let's say 8 fish. We'll give it 8 fish because I did hook 3 other ones that were hooked on there, so they were hooked. But that bait, it's pretty soft and pliable and tears up pretty easy, and that is something I know a lot of people don't like with certain baits. And I've heard guys that don't like that about Googan baits is that they just don't last that long. But you know, I will say this: Googan baits, the baits that I've used so far that I've fished with them, catch fish, and that's what I'm out to do, is catch fish. Some baits last longer than others. Now, if you want to compare the Rattlin Ned to a Z-Man Ned rig and a Z-Man TRD, there's no comparison. Z-Man's going to crush it hands down, because I've got Z-Man TRDs tied on that I was fishing last winter and I'm still throwing them, and ones that I tied on the beginning of this year, like in January, and I'm still using them and they're still catching fish, because that elastoplastic that they use, that Z-Man uses, is so phenomenal. Whatever that is, it's awesome, and I wish every company would make their baits out of them, because freaking that is the stuff. Now, I want to show you guys some stuff, because I actually took the bait off that I was fishing. So we're going to show you how bad it got tore up. So when that first bass hit it, and the first one I caught, if you guys can see there, it put that big gash right there. See that gash right there? That was the first rip that put in there off of that little bass. Just boom, tore that thing up, blew it wide open. So then after that, I had to go around and do some other hooks. And if you look right here, I'll show you, you can see more tears. Right there, right there. Big old tears, big old tears, big old tears. And then as we roll it around, yeah, there's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's another. If you guys look right here, another gash right there. So, they got tore up pretty good. Now, I think I could probably hook this one more time, maybe, and make it work, but I'm not going to. I'm going to put a fresh one on for when I go out and fish again. If I would have still kept fishing tonight, I would have kept this on and kept going, but I'm going to start fresh. But so, after catching 5 fish, losing 3, and then having several other hits, this bait's toast. It's toast. And if this was a Z-Man TRD, it would still be fine. So, it did hold up pretty well. I mean, you know, considering, you know, I did catch 5 fish. I did lose 3 fish. So I'm going to say technically that this bait made it through 8 fish, and I probably could still be fishing it. You know, I'm trying to be honest with you guys. I could probably still be fishing it, and probably catch 1 or 2 more on it before it was totally done. But it did tear up pretty fast, and that was one thing that I didn't like, is that, you know, I love the fact that it has that little rattle in it and stuff, but the fact that it tore up so quick. And even when I was pulling it through the grass, you know, when I was dropping it down and getting into some grass and then having to just pop it up, I was noticing that it was causing it to tear a little bit in there. That is kind of a downside to this bait, that it's just, I mean, it's super soft, and it's got really, I mean, if you guys look, I mean, it's got really great action. And so you can either have a stiffer bait with less action, or you can have one that has more action, and it's going to end up tearing up a little bit better. We all have our preferences. You know, not everybody can make a bait like Z-Man. I mean, they have quoted the market on whatever type of plastic that they're using. But as far as I'm concerned, this is a good bait, and it's a winner. It does definitely work, and I will be using it in the future. The crazy thing is that, you know, it just, you know, I didn't catch anything really big, And for you guys out there that want baits to last a little bit longer because you're on a budget, and I'm on a budget too. Don't think I can afford to be spending gazillion dollars, buying stuff because, I can't. I'm on a budget and I have to buy things, and that's why I love the Z-Man stuff because it just lasts so long. But I do like this concept, and so I am gonna have a few of these around. Probably just the 3 colors that I already got. That's probably what I'll just keep in supply, and I'll have them around and I'll fish them. But if you guys are wanting something that's going to last through, 12, 15, 20 fish, this is not the bait. It's just not going to do it, I say, you're probably going to be able to get through 6 or 8 fish, maybe 10 fish, at the max, and then this bait will be done and you'll be switching out for another one, but I've had fish tear up a Z-Man, right off the gate too. I've caught some big ones that have torn it up, and it does happen, but it doesn't happen often. The Z-Man baits are phenomenal, This is a great bait though. Don't get me wrong. This is a great bait. If you want to catch fish, it definitely catches fish. And I'm going to be out fishing this on the river in a few days. I'm going to do another review of this on the river. Hopefully I have a good day and I catch a lot of fish on it because I really, really want to really give this bait its due. This is my initial thoughts, my initial feelings, and what I think about this bait. So don't get it wrong. I'm not downing this bait at all. I think this is a good bait. I think they did a really good job with this bait, and I'm going to definitely be fishing in the future. I love that rattle in there. I think that's unique. The only thing I wish they would do is I wish they would make it a little bit more durable. I think it definitely needs to be a little bit more durable. I think if they made it a little bit more durable, a lot more people would buy it. And I think that that's something that hopefully maybe they'll work on in the future. I don't necessarily feel that they need to do that with their other baits, but I think with this Ned rig, because of the way it gets rigged up and stuff, and I think that a little bit more durable plastic would have been the way to go with this. But I don't know how all that works. I don't make baits, excuse me. And, if I find something that works and catch fish, I fish it. And, I understand that the price point is something that people, I've heard gripe about before and be upset about. But, you're getting this really nice packaging. You're getting clamshell packaging. I think they do a really good job. You're getting 8 of these in there. And it's a good bait. It's definitely a good bait. It looks good in the water. It fishes well, and it catches fish. And so far, so good. That was my first little test. It was a little simple test just to see if the bait worked and it caught fish, and it does catch fish. And it actually caught multiple species. So take it for what it will. Take it what it is. For me personally, I will be using these. These are probably the 3 colors that I'm going to get, and I will keep them, and I will have them in handy, and I will fish them. And I'm actually going to do a test. I'm going to put them up against the Z-Man stuff and see which one catches me more fish. I'm going to tie one of these on, tie a Z-Man one on, and I'm going to go at it. I'm going to fish both. And I might do one day one and one day the other, and see which one ends up catching me more fish. Fish at the same place, same time, and kind of do a comparison to see which one ends up catching a lot more, and a comparison of what they look like at the end of the day. And we'll see how that goes. That's probably a video I'll do in the future. But this is just my initial thoughts, initial feelings on this bait. And, if we want to rate things, on a 1 to 5 scale or 1 to 10 scale. So let's rate looks and feel of this bait. I would definitely give it a 10. The looks and feel of this bait, definitely a 10. That rattle in there, I think is phenomenal. And as far as looks and feel, they did a really good job with this. It has a great feel to it. Definitely was very fishable and worked really well. Now, as far as durability, I honestly, I would have to give it, a 3, maybe 4. That's being honest. Probably a 3 or 4 is probably where I would rate it as far as durability, because it just like I said, that first fish hit it and it tore a big rip in it the first time. And that wasn't a big fish. He didn't hammer it too hard, and the fact that it ended up with that big gash right out the gate, that's kind of a bummer because it could have torn that bait. It could have torn it and been done in one shot. And if this bait, if I wouldn't have been able to fish it, my first thought when that happened was, man, if I'm only going to be able to catch 1 fish per bait, this bait is not worth buying. I don't care how much I like it. But again, I ended up being able to catch 5, and it ended up holding up through that. So, I look at it like if I can catch 6 to 10 fish on a bait, on a soft plastic before I got to change it out, then that's a pretty decent bait, and that's kind of where this falls in. And so, yeah, it's worth it to me to get them. One thing I'll tell you guys is that when you are ordering this stuff and you're complaining about prices and stuff, order in bulk. You know, buying 2 or 3 is not the way to do it online because you got to pay for shipping. I mean, if you like the baits and you want to do it, you know, buy a dozen of them. You know, have enough money to buy a dozen of them. You know, like 12 packs of them, and then it doesn't cost you a fortune to get them. But when you're buying like 2 or 3 packs, then it really isn't worth it because you're paying that shipping that gets tacked on top of it. So, you know, you need to buy in bulk when you buy baits. When I buy packs of baits, I mean, I buy a box of them, you know, and that's how I buy stuff. So, you know, a lot of times I get free shipping because I spend at least $50 and, you know, get them. So that's basically all I got for you guys. That's my 2 cents when it comes to this bait. Definitely would recommend it. I will definitely recommend it. So if you're looking for my recommendation, I definitely recommend this bait. It'll definitely catch you fish, and it obviously will catch you multiple species of fish. But if you guys don't like baits that get tore up fairly easy, then this is probably not the bait for you. So I'm just putting that out there. It's definitely a bait that I will put in my arsenal because I know that when I take this to some of the other places that I love to fish, this is going to catch some big donkeys. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can't put a price on catching a 5 or 6 pound bass with a bait like this. If you only catch one and he tears it to pieces, but you got a 5, 6, 8 pounder out of it, that dollar that you just spent is well worth it. So that's how I look at it. So with that being said, like I said, I would recommend this bait. I think it's a good bait. I really do. I think they came out with something really cool. And this is the first one of the new baits that they've come out with that I've tried. I will be trying a few others in the future. But this was the first one I wanted to get because I fish the Ned rig a lot. And I'm pretty happy with it. You know, I will definitely use it again. And I'm going to burn through these, I know, probably in the river this week. And I'll probably be ordering more soon, but definitely like it. It's not a bad bait at all, and I would definitely recommend it. But if you're somebody that can't afford to replace their baits fairly regularly, then, you know, I would probably say go with the Z-Man stuff. I love Z-Man too, but this is all about the Googan Baits today. So that's my thoughts. That's what I think. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too long and too windy, but I wanted to give it an honest review and just tell you my thoughts and how I think about it and what I thought about it. And that's it. You know, that's where it's at. You know, I don't care, you know, if I'm on pro staff for anybody. And just so you guys know, I am on Team Googan. I am, you know, on their pro staff. And I'm being honest with you guys because I don't care if I'm on their pro staff or not. Being honest with you guys and telling you the truth about what I think about baits is more important to me than being on pro staff for anybody, because that's what this channel is about. So that's why I wanted to tell you honestly about this bait. You know, for me, like I said, I will use it. I do like it. I fish a lot of Ned rig stuff, but you know, like I said, the durability, it does tear up pretty easy. I mean, and that's one of the things that, you know, you got to think about when you're buying your baits. You know, certain baits tear up easier than others. We all know that. So, I mean, I wanted to be honest with that. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it holds together and it's great and I can catch a million fish with it, because that's not the case. The case is you're probably going to get about 6 to 10 fish out of one of these, and then you're going to be switching it out. I mean, that's just being honest. You know, I mean, and like I said, I caught 5 and lost 3 and had a few other bites, and for me this bait's pretty much done. I mean, I might have got 1 or 2 more out of it, but that was pretty much it. So take it for what it is, guys. Take it for what it is. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I didn't mean to get on that little rant. If you guys could do me a favor, hit that like button, that subscribe button, that ding dong button, that share button, all those things you got to do for YouTube. And then just do yourself a favor, get out there, get your lines wet, and catch some fish.